The story of the Gas Mask Gang. The members of the Gas Mask Gang are what is left of the population of a planet once very close to the likes of Earth. This planet was called Mercy by its own people. However, to other planets and their people in the universe, this place now only goes by vague title of the Graveyard. It got this title after the planet was destroyed in a nuclear war amongst its own people and all civilization was thought to be lost. This nuclear war was unlike anything anyone could imagine. In less than 24 hours, the entire planet was left in rubble and everything was on fire as far as the eye could see. The water literally boiled from the heat. The population dying out rapidly in a very short period of time. There was nowhere to run or hide. Or so they thought. Well, 5,000 of the population managed to seek shelter in a deep bunker, built over 80 years before in case of an end-of-the-world scenario by the elite of the planet. One of those elite who took part in this construction 80 years before wasn't who he seemed. He had run criminal enterprises all over the world during his life and managed to blackmail and threaten his way into the team producing this massive bunker. This crime boss passed the information of the whereabouts of this bunker to his sons and daughters, who then passed it to their kids as well. Well, that criminal nature ran in the family for generations now and got more reckless and ruthless as time passed. The crime family had already taken up shelter in the bunker years prior to the nuclear war, not to protect from the end of the world, but because it was a perfect hideout for the criminal enterprise that has grown by thousands of members over the generations that have passed. They were very notorious and many of them wanted by the law, so the bunker became some members' only place to go. So, when the blasts went off killing off the population of planet Mercy, they had been the only ones protected at all from the nuclear war that had just ensued. The only problem, this bunker is outdated, weapons were much more advanced now, and the bunker hadn't been maintained properly over the years. So they weren't completely safe. Radiation was slowly leaking through loose seals in the bunker. So slowly as to not kill them, instead it slowly mutated their DNA and then their body and mind. Eventually their skin came off, but they stayed alive somehow. Then they lost their eyes, but still able to see in a different way. Sensing vibrations and signals in the air, they were able to identify the main image, but color was no longer a thing included in their way of seeing. No longer able to speak, but able to communicate among one another at a seemingly highly efficient level, possibly speaking to each other purely with thought somehow. Far from understood, but certainly somehow still alive. These members ventured out of the bunker 40 years later, all equipped with gas masks as to retain the life they still had left, and hoping to not make the mutations that had already occurred upon them even worse. They stayed alive on the surface, wandering the charred land that was still heavily polluted with radiation, but with no longer a need to eat or drink due to their mutations. These members of a once notorious criminal gang were free to roam endlessly as time passed before them. What is to become of this notorious gang now? Heavily mutated, walking the surface of planet Mercy, otherwise known as the Graveyard. Find out next time.